Jaguar E-Type is a certified classic, but with prices fetching six figures and F-Type still costing a pretty penny, why don't you look at the more accessible Jaguar XKR? Today we're going to talk through the design, the interior, and have a look at some of the features on it, and of course, this glorious engine. I'm Jordan, and this is Also House. The XK was often heralded as the modern interpretation of the E-Type, and it's not exactly hard to see why. The styling is broadly similar to it. It's got these lovely swooping lines, this exceptionally long bonnet, big lovely flowing roofline, and to be honest, it still looks really good, even today. Design-wise, you've got this nice little catfish grille here, the glory hole style vents hiding that lovely engine, which we'll get onto in a minute. It's got this lovely quintessentially British bulge in the middle of the bonnet here, which is typical of cars of this era and of course of ones from the 50s and 60s. Nice little Jaguar Supercharged logo in the front there, and it still looks quite nice. This one does have the upgraded headlights, so these are not factory fit, as you can probably tell, but on this they look really, really nice. Moving around the side, we've got this lovely sleek body style. Again, the exceptionally long bonnet, and I absolutely love these single piece 18-inch alloys. They look thoroughly modern even today. Around the back, it still looks great. In fact, this car looks pretty much gorgeous from any angle. It's aged absolutely beautifully. Some nice little chrome detailing around the lights, little XKR badge. You have this lovely little spoiler here, which was only on the XKRs and not on the XK8s. They did originally have two exhausts either side, so quad exhaust system. However, this one just has one either side, but it sounds absolutely amazing. Engine-wise, they all thankfully came with the V8. So this is the 4-litre supercharged unit, which came in the XKR, the Mark 1 XKR. The XK8 had the 4-litre naturally aspirated unit, and what differentiated the 8 from the R was the fact that the R was always supercharged. In later models they did have a 4.2, which again the R was supercharged, and the 8 was a naturally aspirated unit. Power wise, this specific engine has around 370 horsepower, which gives it a 0 to 60 time of about 5 seconds. Now, people did say that the Ford era cars were built very well, and as you can tell, the build quality is exceptional. On the inside, it's very, very nice indeed. It's exceptionally British in here. You've got this lovely wooden dash, the glorious Jaguar J-gate, a flyaway handbrake, and it's just an incredibly comfy place to sit. You do feel like you're in a very, very special car. And this car, you know, it's a 2001, so it's pretty old, but it feels surprisingly quite modern. It's very well put together in here. You know, the dash doesn't rattle, you can't move anything around. You've got lovely materials everywhere, even down on the floor. Gorgeous carpets, and it is just phenomenal. So the first thing that strikes you when you get behind the wheel and start to drive is a little bit of a lack of visibility. So obviously it's got that extremely long bonnet and you can't quite see, and this road has a couple of potholes and things that would damage the car, so also I don't want to go through them, but it does feel like you're in quite a large car, and to be honest, it's not that big. However, it does also sound very nice. So again, as we did with the Tesla review and the Mini review, I'm back where the road is a bit terrible, and this, oh, there's a squirrel there, excuse me Mr. Squirrel, thank you. The XK has something called CAT suspension, which is computer aided technology suspension. And effectively what it is adaptive suspension, so it works pretty much the same as you'd expect in a normal car now. You go around a corner a little bit too quickly and it keeps the car nice and flat by obviously reacting to what's happening on the road surface. And on a road like this where it's a little bit poo, it works really well. It's actually surprisingly comfortable. The other thing that strikes you is just how big this lovely wooden steering wheel is though. So it does feel nice in your hands, but it is very, very wide. It's a bit like driving a bus. But then, you know, this car is a tourer of sorts. It's designed to drive all the way down to the Alps in absolute comfort, go and play golf with your golf rackets, and just enjoy the drive down there. Something that's taken for granted today is the electrically operated roof. So in cars of this era, typically you'd have to undo a latch, maybe undo some other things before you could press the button. However, in this, it's just one button, you press it and the roof goes down. The reason it's not down today at the moment though is that every 7 years you might have something called the green shower, which is where the pipes that carry the fluid and are very high pressure burst, and what it does is it leaks green gunky fluid all over you and your car, your shopping, your dog, and all of your household items. And what that means is every 7 years, the rubbers which carry all of the hydraulic fluid may degrade and then they could burst, causing the green shower. So it is recommended that every 7 years you get that replaced to stop any of that happening, because it would damage your lovely cream interior. Driving through town as well, it's actually really nice. So the gearbox is very, very good, even in sport mode. You know, it's not doing stupid changes every now and again. The suspension is very soft, the seats are very comfortable. Obviously, people do kind of look at you because you've got this lovely burly V8 that's making a lot of noise, and if you put your foot down, you've got that glorious supercharger whine as well. So what is actually interesting is I have driven an original E-Type, and this car does feel very, very similar. So it's not quite as old and rattly, and it doesn't have the same charm that the E-Type did, but you would expect that because an E-Type is very, very old and it is a certified classic. However, a lot of owners now are starting to keep them behind closed doors, so they're not coming out as much as they did. You know, it's kind of high days and dry days really. And maybe that's a little bit of a telling about what's to come with the future of these cars. The fact that people are now starting to realise, these might actually be worth something in a couple of years. And it is clear to see, so if you look at values of them from even 5 years ago to today, they have slowly started to creep up. It's not at a huge rate. So if you are after, you know, a potential future classic, then you need to kind of get one sooner rather than later before they start coming really, really expensive and you have to sell your children for one. Right, now we can get onto some faster roads and see what the handling and driving dynamics of this car are like. And the first thing that surprises you is how well this car handles. You know, it's a GT car. It shouldn't handle this well and it has no business doing this. But the steering is lovely and direct. You know, it's also quite light as well. You can really feel what the front tyres are doing underneath you. It's very, very easy to control. You know exactly what the car's going to do. The rear end doesn't want to step out. It's very, very composed. And, well, the best bit is that it sounds like that. That man liked that. He loved that. He loved that. The suspension is working very, very well. It's not throwing me around. It's not trying to make me jolt around the road like the Mini did. It's very calm. It's not dramatic at all. It just handles the bumps really, really well. You do find, though, that when you go around the corner, the cat suspension doesn't work instantly. You know, there's a bit of a delay, but then you can feel it firm up as you go around the corner, and it corners so flat. Do you know what? It's very, very surprising that it does this. So we're just going to pull out onto one of the main roads here, and that's 60. It does very well. The performance is definitely there. It does throw you back in your seat, and it's not as fast as you kind of think it would be. Like from when you're a child and you've seen these or whatever, you'd expect them to be really, really fast. It's not, but it's a very comfortable speed. You're not going to get into a huge amount of trouble with one of these, and it's very, very easy to drive. Whilst you can buy one of these for only a couple of grand, and there are plenty available, the thing you do need to consider is the maintenance. So I would really put away around £2,000 a year for one of these, because, you know, they're not the most reliable things in the world, and there are little issues that sometimes crop up that, you know, might not be in the forums or might be in the forums, but you just have to be aware of certain things like that. So I did talk about the E-Type and the F-Type. The E-Type is just astronomically priced, and, you know, if you can buy one of those, well done to you, but for the vast majority of us, no, they are just a pipe dream. The F-Type, again, that's far too new, whereas an XKR or an XK8 even can start from, you know, just a couple of grand for a little bit of a shagged one. 10k would get you a very, very sorted one, a very, very nice example. So if you are looking for one that's low mileage, that you are planning to keep for a while, then look towards the higher end of the market. But there are so many available that it's not really a problem. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time.